From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD PrimeTime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Eagles Live. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you're feeling the same. And let's go ahead and jump into college football Friday night lights, man. It's going to be some pretty good games going on tonight. We start off with a matchup in the AAC, the American Athletic Conference, and this conference has a kingpin as of now, and that's going to be Cincinnati. Cincinnati, huge, monster, historical win last week at South Bend against the heralded, all-time Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and they beat the coach that the Fighting Irish hired away from them almost a decade ago, and pretty much went ahead and said, thank you for everything that you built up over here at Cincinnati, and you see how we're doing now. And number 5 team in the nation. I think that they need a little bit more respect. You're going to probably have to put them in the top 4 this year if they do go ahead and win out. There's no way that you can leave them out of it. They beat Notre Dame, a team that you put in there last year. Now they go against Temple, a team that is coming in here as a 20-1 underdog. Plus 30 on the spread tonight. So you're getting 30 points to start the game off, over under a 53 as well, too. As good as this Cincinnati team is, it should not be really that difficult for them to actually win this game by 30 points or better, because honestly, Temple's really not that good. And at the end of the day, they might want to send a message here on a Friday night on ESPN that, the Cincinnati Bearcats ain't nothing to mess with. You know what I mean? So pretty much I do think that the spread is a bit much, but I do think that the spread is very, very, very doable as well, to be honest with you, because I don't see Temple scoring a lot of points on this very, very good defense. If a high-octane offense like Notre Dame can't score on Cincinnati, do I expect the Temple to score on Cincinnati? Absolutely not. So there it is. There it is. I have the play for you guys once we get to talking tickets. All right, so we move forward, and we have ourselves the Charlotte and FIU game, and you guys already know that we have Charlotte here, who's in the Conference USA. Florida International is as well, too. And, Florida International has struggled this year. They lost last week 58-21. And then you have a Charlotte team coming in here that actually beat Duke to start the season off as well. And they got a 10-point loss last week against Illinois. But, Illinois is okay. They're not bad, but, for the Big Ten, they're pretty below average, but still. Illinois, that's not that bad of a loss, and they only lost them by 10. They got a good win against Middle Tennessee State the week prior, beating them 42-39. So they are 1-0 in the conference as well, too. So I think this game does really favor Charlotte more than anything here, but you can't sleep on the situation because FIU is at home and they can play big because they're at home. So we have an over-under of 61.5 points today as well, too. I think that's the best thing to do here, scoreboard watching, because if they felt like Charlotte could run away with this thing against FIU, they would be a bigger favorite than they are. They're only a -3.5 on the spread. And so, you know what? A lot of bettors are going to look at that number, and they're going to probably like FIU a lot tonight. But I would say they would probably like FIU a little bit more on being a straight-up winner tonight with the +150 as well, too. But I really don't like the way that this team has been playing this season. FIU, to be honest with you, they rank below the bottom of literally every category, but they are 46 in passing this year at 288 a game, while Charlotte is throwing for 236 a game, but Charlotte is in the top 100 when it comes to the rushing game at 174 a game. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. Both these teams are identical when it comes to points per game, so it should be a good one in the Conference USA. All right, so we move on and talk about the Pac-12 after dark, and we have Stanford coming in here. Big upset last week for Stanford, beating Oregon, who's considered a team that could possibly play in the playoff this year with the big win over Ohio State. That is going to cease to exist now after a big win from Stanford. But Stanford's 3-2, so that's why they're not ranked yet, and they're going against Arizona State, who's coming off of a monster big win over UCLA, beating them 42-23 last week at the Rose Bowl, and then beating up on Colorado 35-13 the week prior. So they're 2-0 in the conference right now. And then you have a Stanford team right now that's 2-1. We're able to come to LA and beat the Trojans, and then they hosted UCLA. UCLA was able to beat them in the end, beating them by 11. And then last week they got a monster win over Oregon, beating them 31-24. And we actually had them on the spread on the bets list as well, too. We didn't have them winning the game, but we had them making the game close. This week, though, I think Stanford is ready to go ahead and do another big number on the road once again, just like they did a few weeks back against USC. But Arizona State is a tough team, coached very well by Herm Edwards as well, too. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out, but this should be one of the better games of the night, and I look forward to it. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the WNBA West semis tonight. We got the Mercury playing against the Aces tonight. You got the Mercury coming in as a plus 195 on the spread. Then you have the Aces at minus 235 as big favorites tonight at the Michelob Ultra Light Arena at Mandalay Bay. So pretty much they don't have them at Thomas Mack or T-Mobile yet, but they are at the arena that's in Mandalay Bay, which is a very, very nice arena, but it doesn't house a lot of people. But it's good for this team because they want to have, but they know that they're not going to sell a lot of tickets for the WNBA. At best, you'll probably sell about 12,000 tickets. That's a good number right there. So if they are able to get those people to come in today, it's going to be a fun little night here. This starts off your night in Las Vegas as well, too. But I think that this game winds up being one of the best games of the season in the WNBA. I know I haven't covered it as much as I had in recent years, but it's just been a very busy summer. And, it was an Olympic year as well, too. I really don't like dealing with this league when they have an Olympic year because the players aren't all the way focused in the first half of the season, and then it takes a while for them to get it all together. So we're in the playoffs. We're getting close to the finals. So I'm ready to talk some WNBA. It is. But so pretty much tonight, I think that Brittany Griner should have herself a nice game. Brittany Griner is the lead scorer in this playoff series as well, too. And then you have a pretty good rebounder in Turner as well, too, in Brianna Turner. And then and the always gorgeous Skylar Diggins-Smith is out there taking over the lead guard role and pretty much the perimeter role for this team as they move forward. Yes, Diana Taurasi is still a part of the team, still a very important player on the team, and is still averaging 18.8. So they have what people would consider the Kobe of the WNBA still on this roster. So anything can happen tonight, and that's why I think that you should not take the Mercury lightly because, Diana has won a lot of championships and she knows exactly how to get it. And the Aces have been good at being a team that comes up short because they're still learning how to win games as they go. Even though they got one of the best records in the league, it's still a struggle every year they get into the playoffs the last few years as well, too, with the best player in the league considerably. Two of the best players in the league, to be honest with you. So I think this will be another really good game tonight. We got a lot of sports going on tonight. WNBA is in a full playoff mode right now. The winner meets up with Candace Parker and the Chicago Sky for the whole enchilada. Another 5-game series as well, too. So let's jump into our MLB divisional playoffs, and we have ourselves some pretty good games and pretty good series going on. Up first, we talk about the White Sox and the Astros. Yesterday, the Astros were able to easily beat up on the White Sox. Today, the White Sox have a 4-2 lead. And yesterday, I thought that we would be able to get home possibly a good day from the White Sox, and I like the way that it's set up. But today they're hitting for Giolito, so this series expected to go probably to the end, probably to 5 games, and this game is far from over. They're in the bottom of the fifth, and Houston's at home, so Houston can strike at any time to turn this game back into their favor. So we still got a lot of ball game to go, but I think that this win right here is very important for this White Sox team moving forward, because if they don't win here, it's going to be a one. Now they have a 1-game season left, so then they will have to be, it's 1 game at a time, right? Or they will be in straight panic mode going back to the south side of Chicago. They don't want to go in there like that. They get the win, split here 1-1. They get back to Chicago, try to go ahead and finish off the Astros there. If not, they are promised the game 5 back in Houston. But the best bet for the White Sox right here is to win today and give themselves the home field advantage and give themselves the opportunity to possibly go ahead and end the series in Chicago early next week. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. Now we have another game that's actually about to start in a moment. This is going to be the Braves and the Brewers. This one is a tricky series because you have a Braves team that's been in the playoffs the last few years, and they came up short last year, blew a 3-1 lead to the Dodgers in the championship series as well too, and literally had 2 opportunities where they had the Dodgers kind of breathing real hard in those last 3 games of the series, but they weren't able to take advantage of it because they couldn't match the pitching of the Dodgers. And that's literally just how it shook out and how it played out. But Atlanta was a tough team for the Dodgers to beat because they were a tough team throughout the playoffs last year as well too. This year, not so much the same. One of their best players is out for the rest of the season, and a lot of people put an emphasis on that. But all this did was motivate this team to go and win the National League East. But the National League East was probably the most winnable division for all 5 teams this season. And I know it sounds crazy right now, but at the end of the day, honestly, every single one of those teams had an opportunity early in the year to take that division by the reins and run away with it. They had 3 different leaders in 2.5 months. Mets had a 3-month lead, still didn't finish with a good record. I mean, still didn't finish with a 500 record. They still finished under 500, wind up finishing 3rd, almost finished 4th. Then you had the Phillies, who took over that lead from the Mets in a weekend series, and they were looking really good, had won about 10 games in a row. And then the Braves decided to get hot, and the Braves dominated the Phillies when they had their head-to-head matchups, and they went ahead and had a good run moving forward, especially at home, and were able to secure that title, the NL East title. And I think that was they had one of the more amazing seasons out of teams, even though we got 2 teams that are well over 100 wins on the season with the Dodgers and the Giants. There were other stories that just were remarkable because these teams were left for dead and actually came up. Cardinals, another one of those teams as well too. And Brewers coming in here actually could be the most rested, most confident team coming into the playoffs because they had no pressure winning their division. Now, I thought they would win 100 games, but they wound up not having the greatest final week of the season, but that was okay. They had already clinched to start the month off. So they're just trying to get guys healthy, get guys in the road, get guys prepared for what is going to be a very, very good series with the Braves. And this one right here has all the writing on the wall to be a 5-game series because I feel like they can split both. They can split home and home. That I think home teams win out, and the game 5 goes to whoever wants it the most, to be honest with you. But I think that the Braves are going to fight hard, especially when they play in Atlanta. And the Brewers' offense is a very potent offense. I think second to say some of these AL teams that are really good that didn't make the playoffs. The Brewers might have been the best hitting team in the NL, to be honest with you, when it came to scoring double-digit runs and things like that, and having big innings, because nobody had bigger innings than the Brewers all season. All we got to do is just look back to when they were down 6-0 against the Cubs and literally beat those guys 15-6. So hey, don't sleep on the Brewers. The Brewers are a team that should be like your third team if you're betting futures on who can win the World Series as well too. So the Brewers going in should not lose the series. I'm saying it's going 5, but I still think the Brewers will win the series. Or if the Brewers just feel like, or if the Brewers get hot enough, this will wind up just being a straight up sweep and moving on from there. But the Braves still do have a slim chance to move forward in this, but I just don't think their pitching's good enough to keep up with the elite squads in the NL right now at this point. So we move forward and we talk about very very important a very important series, and this one is the Red Sox and the Rays. The Red Sox come in here. They were the leaders of the AL East for most of the year until the Rays finally kicked it into high gear, took the lead, and never looked back. In mid-June, early July, and pretty much both these teams held off the Yankees. Red Sox had to play them in the wild card game, but still, a lot of us already felt that the Red Sox would win that game because a lot of us didn't believe in the Yankees making the playoffs this year anyway. And the Rays last night were very impressive. They went ahead and got a big win over the Red Sox to open up the series. And also, let me go ahead and break some news for you guys real quick. Update on the White Sox Astros game. The Astros have just tied the game up here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and this was due to a Gurriel single that knocked in Altuve and Alex Bregman to notch the game up 4-4. So there it is, 4-4 game in Houston right now with the White Sox and the Astros. Now, back to what I was talking about. You have this game starting at 4 o'clock today. My time, 7 o'clock back east. Chris Sale is on the mound. Chris Sale has been absolutely a gem since he got back, and he's going against a rookie Shane Baz. Everything is telling me right now this is setting up for a Red Sox beatdown, to be honest with you. I think the Red Sox come in here and they absolutely try to abuse the rookie pitcher and try to get him out of here as early as possible and try to get as many runs as possible on him as in that time frame as well too. Now, these are two of the best hitting teams in all of baseball going at it today, but I give the edge to the Red Sox today because they do have the better average, and they are a better team by average by about 19 points. So I think that today they take care of their business. They have to get a good pitching effort, though. That's for sure today with the Red Sox. They have to get a better effort than they got yesterday, but Chris Sale has been paid to be their ace, their man. So I'm very confident in what the Red Sox can do today, and I think they even up this series before we get back to Fenway. All right, so let's go and get to the series of all series, and this is the one that everybody cannot stop talking about, and this is the Dodgers and the Giants. The Dodgers and the Giants facing off in a playoff situation. Well, this is a playoff. This is their first ever playoff series, but the Dodgers have had and Giants have had plenty of scenarios where the winner gets to the playoffs or the winner gets to the winner takes the pennant, things of that nature. So this is something new in the 21st century, but dating all the way back to when both teams were in New York, they've always played in very important games moving forward towards getting championships, being in the playoffs, pennants, whatever. But this time around, they're in an actual series. It's 5 games. It starts in San Francisco tonight. And this is like almost holy war in a sense because you start getting goosebumps and things like that. You start thinking about Vin Scully's voice and all the great games he called with the Dodgers and the Giants and everything like that. Then you look at the rivalry. You go all the way back to the good Brooklyn boys with Jackie Robinson and Roy Campanella and many more Hall of Famers. And then you look to the Giants and you see the man himself, Willie Mays, one of the greatest to ever do it for their team, and just everything that just plays a part. Even the Barry Bonds with the Giants as well too. When we talk about recent time players, and it's just such a great rivalry, and I think that this one right here is a mixed bag. I'm already getting a lot of texts now that a lot of people like that I like San Francisco because of blah 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 blah. At the end of the day, the Dodgers have had injuries all season. It hasn't affected them to win 106 games. The Dodgers are one of the deepest rosters you'll ever get in baseball, period. So losing Max Muncy is huge. But at the end of the day, you have guys in place to replace him. Cody Bellinger's bat is coming alive. Cody Bellinger was one of the most important players in that game Wednesday night. Okay, that's what you guys really are overlooking. He got two stolen bases at two critical moments of the game. And that was able to set in the second time around. It set up the Chris Taylor home run as well, too. So pretty much I feel like the Dodgers, who are struggling, will get into form at this point. If you're worried about Clayton Kershaw not being there, he's been out most of the season, so it's okay because the Dodgers have three very capable pitchers of running that rotation And then you still got Gosselin, and then you still have David Price as well, too, who is a much better pitcher in the postseason than he is in the regular season, and you can go look at his stats. And then the Dodgers have the number one bullpen in all of baseball. So what is the real issue here with people thinking that one or two players is going to make a difference on the Dodgers actually winning this series? Now, the Giants are at the point now to where they have to really prove themselves because they have a lot of guys on that team without playoff experience, and that's going to be key in right there. Now, they still do have Buster Posey, who's one of the best to ever do it, a future Hall of Famer, three-time World Series champion, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But then when I look up and see who's in their pitching staff, those guys were playing for bad teams throughout their whole career. So how do they make the adjustment going in here with the best record in all of baseball, playing for a team that is capable of winning the World Series, but wasn't favored to win the World Series? They weren't even favored to even get past the fourth place slot in the NL West. So the Giants to me, are playing with house money right now, and pretty much you have to go ahead and take advantage of the situation if you're the Giants and try to go as far as you can. But I really truly feel the Dodgers being in the playoffs for the last decade almost, and then being in the biggest games the last 3 out of 4 years, that should weigh in the fact that the Dodgers are the much better team here. But the thing is, though, they're arch rivals and anything can happen. So Dodgers Giants open up another chapter of some legendary stuff, and hopefully it all works out. This looks like a 5-game series if anything. But it could possibly, if the Dodgers take the first two in San Francisco, cut the lights out when we get to Chavez Ravine because they'll be getting ready to go to the NLCS after that. So the Giants, it's very important that the Giants get at least a game here in San Francisco, if not both games, because I know when they get to the stadium, the way that the stadium's been buzzing the last 3 weeks, it's going to be tough to beat the Dodgers at the Ravine. So there it is, Dodgers Giants tonight. We all look forward to it. It's going to be a fun night, and I cannot wait to see what happens in this series. And I know you can't wait to see what happens in this series as well, too. So when I get back, we'll go ahead and we'll talk those tickets for tonight, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up on a cloudy Friday here in Southern California. So I thank you guys. So once again, you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the stretch drive, the final furlongs of the show, and pretty much let's go ahead and jump into it. Where we're going tonight? Where are we going tonight? We are going to start off with our college football group tonight. I'm going to put together a pick three that is 16-1 right now. We got the under 61 with the Charlotte FIU game tonight. Then we're going to do the minus 30 on Cincy. Yes, I know it looks crazy right now that I'm doing minus 30 on Cincy tonight, but Cincy's the number 5 team in the nation going against a team that is absolutely terrible when it comes to playing offense. Now, defense, they play a little bit of that, but I think that their defense isn't good enough to keep up with Heisman hopeful Ritter. So pretty much at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm taking the Cincy with the minus 30. I know it's crazy because I'm already down 30 points when I start the game, but I expect these guys to win the game 42 to I expect these guys to win the game, say maybe like 56 to zip. I don't know. Give us one of those good old fashioned Cincinnati beatdowns like they did it 10 years ago when they were still in the Big East. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but that's who we're rocking with there. And then I'm going to give you guys the ultimate dog of the day. The literally Stanford plus 375 tonight, going into Tempe and getting themselves a big win over the undefeated Arizona State, the former Arizona State Sun Devils. So let's see if they can go ahead and get a monster win tonight, and that gives you a 16-1 ticket with only 3 teams. So that's a pretty good ticket right there. So it's one of these tickets, you throw 100 on it, you get back $1,600. You put 50 on it, you get back $800. If you want to be cheap, then you can go ahead, put 20 on it, get 320 back. All in all, it's some value here, and let's see if you can make some money here. So we move on, and let's talk about the WNBA tonight. I'm going to take the Mercury with the plus 5.5. I know that the money line looked very, very tempting, but the thing is, though, let's say this, the game stays close tonight, and if they wind up losing, then at least we still know that we get the cover tonight, and we can go ahead and cash that ticket because that's what it's all about. And then we get the over 169.5. They've been scoring in the hundreds in this series, 90s, hundreds in this series. So this means that defense has not been at a premium. Defense is like, where is defense? So pretty much this should be another really good game. It's the closeout game. The winner gets to the WNBA finals. Will it be the Aces? Will it be the Mercury? We will see how it goes. We will see how it shakes out. But this will be one of the best games of the season in the WNBA. And then we finish off the night with the MLB Divisional Friday Night. I'm going to take the under 7.5 with the Red Sox and Rays, but I still feel like the Red Sox wind up getting a shutout tonight. And I know it sounds crazy, it sounds bold, all that good stuff, but I think the Red Sox wind up getting a shutout tonight. They're going against a pitcher who is very, very green in this situation, and with a pitcher who they paid a whole lot of money to go ahead and win games like this. So that's why I'm taking. That's why I feel like the Red Sox should be the winner of the game, but we'll take the under tonight because this is going to be a chess match. This is going to be a game that's going to be decided between the managers as well too. So I like what I see here, but the under 7.5. Let's see how it goes. And then the Dodgers tonight, the road team, the nightcap, the final game of the night. I'm taking the Dodgers money line minus 115, and this is not because I'm a Dodger fan and I'm wearing a Dodger hat. I just feel like you got Walker Buehler on the mound, and Walker Buehler is going to think about that Sunday night on ESPN where they lost the lead for the division. And I think the rest of the Dodgers are going to be thinking about that night, and they're going to want to get their sweet revenge tonight. And usually that's when they're looking to get that sweet revenge, especially in San Francisco. It usually happens. And this is the first game of the series. You know there's going to be a love fest with San Francisco because they've had a great season. They did not fall. They overexceeded their expectations. And so pretty much they're going to be the talk of the town, the talk of the night, and it's going to be a great game. But all in all, though, you have two of some of the greatest seasons ever meeting up in a divisional playoff. Baseball, we're going to have to change that situation, and we're going to change that very quickly as well, too, so we can get the games the correct way. The Dodgers-Giants should be nothing less than an NLCS. They need 7 games to get this thing going, but this is where we're at right now, and it's going to be a 5-game series, and it's going to be absolutely epic. But that's going to be our groups for tonight. We're talking tickets. I gave you guys three different sports tonight. We get basketball, football, and baseball. So there it is. Let's see what we can do with that. And hopefully we go ahead and we get some dollars off this as well, too. And if you guys already know, the horsing around is up right now. We got the third race about to start in a moment there as well, too. So you guys make sure to cut on TVG in a few minutes if you guys are trying to catch that race as well, too. And then pretty much there it is, man. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of my day, my favorite day, Friday, and I hope you guys do the same as well, too. And you guys be on the lookout for the bets list as well, too. It will either be available later on this evening or this afternoon, or it will be available first thing in the morning before we get to kickoff and everything like that. And don't miss the Rise and Shine Pick 6 and the Dirty Dozen jackpot that I play every Saturday as well, too. So once again, you guys are the absolute best, and this is the Premier Sports Betting Show hosted by the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. And as I always say, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch. Always bet with your head and not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.